Nicknamed Bostos, he's starting to the top right. He kind of named himself Bostos, didn't he? I always see some of his tweets where he's referring to himself with his nickname, which is a little bit weird. But well, it's the player for SK Gaming, formerly Split Commando.
SKMC.
As pointed out before, he is playing in his best matchup right now against Zerg. He is very, very strong, and this is going to be a very, very interesting match. I'm really so looking forward to this. The Team Liquid player starting at the bottom left of the map. We have Daybreak as our map here, and this is none other than Liquid's
Liquid Zenio.
And I have the feeling that on Daybreak, by now, with how the meta game goes, the ball is usually in the court of the Protoss player. It's about what the Protoss actually does. What do? Do you go for a gateway attack with +1? Do you go for gateway and Stargate combination? Do you use the Immortal all-in? Or do you just try to take a third base, which we see a lot more often these days?
And the Zerg has to react accordingly. He has to either put on the pressure against the player who takes a fast third, or defend the pressure, or potentially he even has the option to take a fast fourth base and go up to hive tech very quickly. There are so many different options. MC looks like he wants to go Nexus first here. Well, he is going to plant that forge, however.
What do you personally prefer in this matchup on this map? If you just see a game unfold like this, what is your opinion, in your opinion, the strongest strategy after you get your second base up?
I really, really like the Zealot pressure because it does not really cost you any gas. It's very strong, it's very difficult to defend, and if your pylon gets spotted, for example, and you cannot do it, you're fine. You spent a few extra chronos, but you have so many different transition opportunities. I also like the fast robo builds because you can use the Immortals to hold a third. You can do a lot of really strong timings with that as well. And MC is going to go ahead and make his Nexus right now. He is continuing to block the drone here.
Yeah, he's attacking it right now. Personally, I have to say that, in my opinion, one of the strongest pushes on two bases that the Protoss has against Zerg is still the Immortal push, where you get all these sentries. And I like what we occasionally see with the third base, the Protoss player just posturing with gateways on the map and trying to fake an attack, forcing the Zerg player to get units, not committing to it, expanding behind it, and then trying to hold on and slowly but steadily getting a few Immortals out to defend against roaches. Because what kind of happens most of the time when the Protoss player tries to get a third is the Zerg just trying to get the Roach and Link combination to take down the third, immediately attacking it and trying to prevent it. But as soon as you have a decent Immortal count, it's getting harder and harder. And this is just a non-stop aggression and attack by Zergs. And at some point, Protoss just tries to get this army that is not beatable anymore. So I like this matchup. I really love it, and I'm curious to see what MC is going to do.
Yeah, I mean, you said that, and I was like, well, I'm still just kind of thinking about what I would do when if I were in MC's position. MC is a man of many strategies. He can do Stargate play, he can even double Stargate, like that's not even outside of the realm of possibility. Something that was interesting to me was that Zenio did not immediately take his third base when he was blocked at his natural. MC didn't block him right away. He could have done it, but in the end he just decided to go ahead and kill the pylon. So his third base here is going to be up a little bit later than many Zergs would have it. It's not necessarily worse, but it's just going to be a little bit slower. MC will go smartly here to scout for this. He's getting +1 right away here. He's not chronoed it just yet because he's been spending all of his chrono on probes. I think, though, based on the time he starts his +1, we are going to see some sort of +1 variation. He may do it with Void Rays, a Baneling Nest.
That is something that we occasionally see instead of a Roach War, and it's pretty rare, though. Dimaga really likes to play with Baneling Nests against Protoss players instead of using Roaches. That's something that he really loves to do, and it can be very, very effective.
MC
it's unusual, though.
Yeah, you're right.
I only know about Dimaga using this against Protoss, and most players will not rely on a Baneling Nest, but try to go for Roaches.
The only types of players I've seen do this, like you said, is Dimaga. People I play against on the ladder, I'm like, really? They just come in and try to blast me. But the thing is, right now, MC he's got one cannon up. He doesn't have any additional ones. If he doesn't see this, he will likely die. There's a ton of Zerglings coming out here.
There's no third base.
He canceled it.
He's really going for the Baneling.
Oh, he's going to lose a Stalker here, but he will get the information he needs.
Yeah, Dimaga uses it as a defensive measure. He's actually not getting aggressive with it, but he just tries to rely on a defensive measure. But now we have Pylon and another cannon coming up.
I don't know if he's going to hold this one, man.
There's no sentry. This is too late.
He's not holding it. No way.
Wow.
Two Banelings get in here. The probes are desperately running for their lives. MC is trying to power PS this main, but
run
it's not
all day. But if those two cannons in the main base complete, maybe. But do they really?
They won't. No. They won't complete.
That's not gonna happen.
He has no units. GG.
Wow, this was definitely not the game that we expected here. Instead of a very, very long macro match between the two of them, Zenio is taking it early on.
Yep.
He's canceling his third base. He's kind of trying to make MC believe that he's going for a standard play, but then he drops the Baning Nest.
MC was doing an interesting build. He did not do any. He chronoed only on probes. He did not take his third and fourth gas. He was just doing a +1 with potentially 4 gateways attack, with a little bit slower, but with a high probe count. And I was really interested to see how his build was going to get fleshed out. But we didn't get to see that. And MC is so frustrated right now. He seemed to be struggling with the match with something he was talking about in chat and the lobby. And then we had a restart here. He's tired. He's been complaining about traveling a lot. He has to travel tomorrow. And that's a very frustrating loss for him here.
Do you know what's kind of funny? I have once again my sheet in front of me where I have the wins and losses of each player. I have each written down. And if you look at it, every single time the player to the right side won.
You're right.
6 games, and every single time the player that I put to the right side actually took the game.
This happens so much. Like, I remember in the up and downs, this happens so many times where I'm like, what's going on? This is kind of weird.
If that's actually true for the next few games, then Hack is in trouble. Because Hack is playing against Tree right now, and Hack is to the left.
He's already 0-2.
Exactly, he's 0-2. So if he really wins against, if he really loses against Tree here, then he would definitely be out of it. And, well, guys, we have 6 games so far, and you know what that means? That means that we have another 5-minute break before we head into our next games. The next games, by the way, will be Hack against Tree, another Terran mirror match before we head into Virus against MC, and Zenio is going to face Seed, another very interesting Zerg versus Protoss that we are going to see as the last game of the next 3-game block thingy. So... yeah, that was a little bit awkward, but well, I think you get the idea and what I wanted to say. So we have a 5-minute break, and then we'll be back with the next games here, the Up and Downs Group D with Carl and Wolf.